Hey guys, what's going on? This is Vouch for Me, and we are doing a recap on Her. We already did an extended pod where we break it down and we discuss it, so definitely check that out. But since you're not doing that, you get to hear about this fucking movie. All right, Her opens. Joaquin Phoenix is hella depressed. Is that pretty much how the movie opens?
No, it opens with him writing those fake love letters at his job. He's like doing this opening narration where he's like just reminiscing about how good our life was together. And then he says like some weird thing that doesn't quite add up, where he says like, oh, when I met you 50 years ago, I was just this girl. Then it cuts to his computer and it's pictures of just like a old couple through the years as they got older. Like, oh, this guy writes love letters for people.
And as the camera pans out, you notice he's in a cubicle. There's other people doing the exact same thing. And you're like, what is this weird future? And it doesn't look dystopian. It just looks kind of bright and nice, and everyone's kind of soft. And as he's leaving for the day, he talks to Chris Pratt. I don't know if he does that right out the gate, but
I guess they did get one thing right about the future is people don't know how to fucking communicate, so they have an entire industry dedicated to people writing love letters.
Damn. Because this movie takes place in 2025, technically, right?
Yep, came out in 2013. It's one of those 5 minutes into the future type deals, so the movie takes place in the year 2025.
And they're not wrong, too, because I feel like I fucking articulate like these characters in the film where it's like when I need to get a point across, I'm like, all right, so this is how I feel about the situation. I'm not going to let any of my reactions come into play. How do you feel? All right, now, cool. All right, now we're doing this. I don't think they were wrong. I think they were on to something, guys. I don't know if I have a lot of I use so many fluoride products. Is that what it is? Am I calcified? Am I calcified, guys? My dick still works, but I don't think my brain works. All right. Anyway, sorry.
No, just take that pizza jacket off. You'll be fine.
I think it's the only thing giving me a little personality. All right. Just because you got cookies in your pockets over there doesn't mean you're any different than me, buddy. Okay. So then post this, we do see him. Now we start to develop the understanding that he's alone. I think he has an interaction with his friends, his coworkers, where I guess we're not really sure yet in the hallways.
They just have a short conversation. They shoot the shit or something, but he seems like he keeps to himself a little bit. He pops in his digital assistant more or less because he's just listening to his emails, just like next, I'm not reading this. And we see a little moment of him being down bad where he gets the email about this news story like attractive female star posts pregnancy pictures, and he like looks around in the fucking train, and then he just opens them up in public. And then later that night, he just dreams about jacking off to them or something.
You gotta be real horny to look at fucking lewd pictures on the fucking train when you're shoulder to shoulder people. That is wild.
Yeah, I know.
That's fucking wild.
I think that's something you'd only understand if you live in like the big city and you like. From what I hear, people say like honestly, people in the street do not give a flying fuck what you're doing. That's why people have memes about like the shit that happens on New York subway trains.
Eric, you lived in the Big Apple. Is this true?
I live in the Small Apple, but on public transportation in Seattle, it's absolute shit show. I luckily I live in like a satellite city, but both my siblings live in Seattle proper. If I ever call her on the phone, she's got her AirPod in the ear, and then we're over there having a conversation. All of a sudden, you hear somebody just screaming at the top of their lungs, and then my sister's just like, oh yeah, you know public transportation and how it goes. And I'm like,
oh man,
oh fuck, we need to get you in a goddamn vehicle. So we're working on that. But all right. I don't want to skip too many things because some things are pretty fascinating. He does get a voicemail from a friend who says, we want to spend time with you, but we don't want the mopey you. We want the fun you that you used to be. What happened, Mr. Mopey? Because it turned, I guess a year ago, him and his wife filed for a divorce, but he's refrained from signing the paperwork.
The documents.
Yeah, because he's scared. This dude can't make a fucking decision to save his life. He's sitting on the fence about everything. You know, he doesn't know how to live. That's like the issue at hand. He goes home, games.
Probably convinced they can make it work still.
Yeah, even though he's not trying to do anything to make it work. He's just sitting there on the fence the whole time, not taking action. He's choosing inaction, which is still a choice. Boys, man out there, inaction is still a choice. You fucking pieces of shit. All right.
Yeah, okay. God damn it, Eric.
Oh, no. Is that not in the recap? All right, guys. Well, I just ruined the YouTube algorithm.
Like, as some people say, not picking a side is still picking a side.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Abel's getting in on it, too. Yeah, you piece of shit. Okay, wait. Now I did. Was that that friendly remark though? Like, we don't want Mopey, we won't fund you. Like, that's kind of a shitty email to send to your friend. And why is everybody emailing?
It is, but at the same time, they're kind of trying to like push him to like, hey, dude, you used to be awesome. Like, you need to really just take care of yourself, and like, you used to be awesome. Just like try and find that again.
Yeah, but you don't fucking send that through email. You go and talk to him. Like, Abel, I really wish you'd leave your pants on when we party together and stop taking your pants off because everybody gets uncomfortable. It's like, no, you don't send that an email. You go and talk to them. It's just,
first of all, you're making a generalization. Not everyone gets uncomfortable. I like it, so don't ruin this for the rest of us.
And also, it's like one of those future things where, like, I guess like emails in their universe is probably just the equivalent of saying a text message, because they don't seem to have phones.
True.
They have digital assistants.
Yeah, they don't seem to type stuff. I tell their digital assistant to type stuff for them. Okay, so I do want to keep going forward with this. We meet Amy Adams, who we find out later is his best friend from college. From college at least. She's with a dude who seems a little controlling, but ultimately they're making it work. So you're like, oh, okay, I guess it's not the worst thing ever, but also I kind of don't like the cut of his jib, as they say.
I don't like the look this guy gives me.
Yeah, I don't like the way he, like, Amy Adams will say one thing and then this guy's like, well, you should do it this way. It's like, yeah, well, you should shut the fuck up and let the woman talk. Jesus.
when he shits on her like art piece or her fucking video
documentary,
he shits on it the way like he does, like, it's not a hardship. He's like, have you ever thought, like, he just totally scraps her idea? Like, you should do this.
You know what you're doing right now? I think it's dumb. I think you should change it to this.
He's being Gaston.
Oh, he's being, not even a charming Gaston either. She could have done way better. Jesus Christ. Our boy, Joaquin Phoenix, Theodore Twombly. So Teddy is alone at home trying to get to bed, can't get to sleep. So he's like, let me hop on one of these chat rooms and see if I can find
a little... He goes on to AOL Online.
Yeah, a little sexy someone that I can talk to. He goes through them. He finds Sexy Kitten.
The Discord chat.
Oh, yeah. Dude hopped right in the Discord chat. Sexy Kitten, who's actually voiced by Kristen Wiig.
SNL chick.
I knew her. I knew her name sounded familiar.
Yeah.
I mean, not her name, her voice. Her voice sounded familiar.
So they have some normal, like, sexy sex talk, but then all of a sudden she wants him to choke him with a cat. She's like, choke me with that cat.
The dead cat by your bed.
Yeah, and he's like, I choke you with the tail. And she's like, yeah.
And he suddenly just lost his boner. He could not get into it anymore.
But he's still committed to the bit. He still hoped that girl get to the finish line.
Bro, just fucking log out. Just say user has left the chat.
All right. Clearly, none of you guys have been on Omegle, all right?
I forgot what his nickname was. Hers was Sexy Kitten. His was like Big Something or like that.
Oh, yes. Big Man 4x4. It was, I was going to put that.
Big Man 4x4.
I was going to put that in our group chat. I was like, guys, I'm changing my name to Big Man 4x4.
That's his name. He's no longer Papa Nasty. He's Big Man 4x4
Big Man 4x4
from now on.
And I'm 5'9". I don't know.
Dude, that just reminded me of Omegle back in the day where you'd put all of your interests in, but if you put in Harry Potter, you always get people who liked Harry Potter, and then they would always want to role play Harry Potter, and then they always made it sexual. And I was like, they're like, we want you to be Sirius Black. And I was like, okay. And then they're like, yeah, turn into a dog. No.
Yeah.
People who read fantasy books are horny as fuck.
Yeah. No, it's true. There's the fairy one where the fairies are fucking. But anyways, we'll get to that.
Aquitar.
Yeah, we'll keep that one in mind. He does get his OS for the first time, and he does talk to it for the first time, and it's Scarlett Johansson. And right out the gate, he can tell, like, this is like a sentient being. Like, I can have a full-on conversation. He told it at one point. He told Scarlett Johansson, Samantha, she gave herself the name Samantha. Hey, read my emails. And then she's like, I will read your emails. And he's like, oh, okay. You're not an assistant. You're a real person, basically, kind of thing. That's pretty cool. I like the way they hand her out.
Yeah, I like the setup prior to that, where he gets her because he saw an advertisement for her, basically. She is advertised as like the first like true AI or something like that. Because most digital assistants just like listen to just list off your stuff.
Was that free or did they have to pay? I just saw a bunch of people in line, but they never did show that.
It's probably like that one movie with Justin Timberlake where they probably just pay with like some digital currency, like years of their lives or something.
Interesting.
What's cool though, Samantha does encourage him to go on a blind date. Do you remember the scene though? He's playing the video game when he starts talking to her about it. Okay, so he's playing that stupid game. So he's literally playing.
It looked like Risk of Rain.
Okay, I was thinking he was playing fucking Walking Simulator. Help me out here.
Death Stranding.
Yeah, I felt like it was a Death Stranding clone or like some kind of fucking like takes forever. Take your time with it.
That was like 6 years before it even came out.
Dude, yeah, fucking, what was his name? Kojima saw
I think it was already announced. I think it was already announced.
Kojima
though.
saw it and he's like, let me cook. I got this. But the little character, I felt like you were going to love him, Papa Nasty.
Oh, I
The
fucking
little
loved
alien
him.
character.
Dude, he's like, fuck you. Oh my God. You remind me of Abel. It's so awesome.
What the fuck?
Like, because I'm so short.
No, just being a menace when it comes to video games. just a little. All right, I'll show you the way. Let's go. Let's go this way, pussy. Like, God damn.
The art style, though, made me think of Risk of Rain.
Yeah, I do agree with that. The voice of that character, he was voiced by Spike Jonze, who's the director, writer, and producer.
That's awesome.
And low end directors cast themselves in their movies.
I know that's a random one.
Mm.
But yeah, during that time, he ends up, she does talk him into it. Because she says, hey, you should pursue this woman. And so he goes on a blind date with a girl who is, I believe, Olivia Wilde.
Olivia Wilde. Oof.
And they do connect for a long bit of time.
I was going to make a joke about how he's talking about the video game he was playing, like the little fuckface thing. And she's so into it. I was like, bro, she's so down bad to fuck right now. She's listening to this grown-ass man talk about video games. And she's like, that's so cool, man. Like, she's so down bad right now. She doesn't actually fucking care.
I heard a meme once. It was like, when the dick's so good, you sit down to watch Naruto. And she's like, so what's this whole shinobi thing about? And you're like, what? So stupid.
You know it's real when she actually gets invested in the lore.
Yeah. He goes on that blind date. They hit it off really well. But then at the end of the night, they're like making out. He's like, I'm gonna fucking get it in. Let's go.
Hey.
And then she's like, oh, well, I gotta be careful here. I'm a little drunk. And do you think we can do another date? And he's like, I don't know. I can't really commit to things right now.
He doesn't even say that. He just doesn't even really respond much. He just like,
bro, he fumbles.
And she's like, you can't even give me a response.
And then she calls him a creep, and he gets very sad about it. And I felt really bad for him, honestly.
He dodged a bullet.
He dodged a bullet. If she was that quick to anger, in addition to that, if he truly didn't know what he wants, or at least to be able to convey what he wants, which is nothing, he probably shouldn't be pursuing people like that.
Yeah, he's not in the mental state to date a crazy girl.
What's funny though, Abel, you probably could attest to this. If that was Eric in his position, he would have dated her for a year or so, right?
At least.
Come on, Abel.
Yeah.
Come on, that was alley-oop.
The forbidden crazy girl bussy.
Yeah.
Eric
and I would have got it in. I would have got the fuck in. We would have been going Olivia Wilde over here. Come on.
Yeah,
give me
Eric the
something.
pizza dog.
She's living up to her name, okay?
Mhm.
He can
Right.
vouch for that.
Come on.
Oh yeah.
I'm literally the pizza delivery boy. I don't know what to tell you guys.
Hey.
Hey, you guys have heard legends of me. The only more famous person is Johnny Sins, who plays any role.
Mhm.
But he doesn't get it in with her, but then later he fucks his computer.
Yeah, because he's just that down bad for fake affection, I guess. Validation.
Dude, yeah, fake affection. He got that erection, tell you that.
Yeah, Samantha tells him what he wants to hear.
Yeah, thank God it went to black. The screen went to black. I was like, oh, I cannot see Joaquin Phoenix masturbate. I've seen too many sex scenes of Joaquin Phoenix in the last 2 years. This would be too much.
Seeing him dancing in his tidy whities and Joker.
Yeah, I was going to say, he fucks Harley Quinn and Joker. What else?
Bus in 30 seconds.
Napoleon?
I haven't seen it, but I heard about that. I heard about, like, there was like a vicious sex scene or something.
No, it wasn't. It was cringe. It was like, oof. It was a sad.
Did you ever hear that thing about, like, when Napoleon sent his wife a letter that he was coming home, what he said to her?
No.
You better have that the dress be on the floor.
No,
What'd
he
say?
said to her, don't shower.
Oh, let's go.
He was on his way back from the front and he was like, I want to smell that stank when I get there.
That's the man right there. Damn.
He got some nasty in him, Napoleon. Whew.
Motherfucker like the conquer. Let's go.
I might wear
Napoleon nasty.
I might wear a Napoleon hat for the next pod if we do Napoleon.
Oh, yeah, full outfit.
Uh,
That's incredible. So he does fall in love with his operating system, Samantha. They do start to do more relationship stuff. What you do see throughout this film is the highs and lows of a relationship, of his emotions. He's excited to be in something new, and he starts to sharing with his friends that he's in a relationship with an AI. But first and foremost, Amy Adams' character, whose name is literally Amy, she breaks up with Charles. She's like, "Fuck this guy. I don't want to be." And I think they were married too, by the way.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so she was in a marriage with this man. They break up. Joaquin Phoenix can be there for her, but also he's still kind of about his own shit, where he's also bragging about like, yeah. Well, I'm fucking my computer, so come on.
You can sit there and listen to her problems, which is all she really needs right now, so that's fine.
He wasn't
Exactly.
He subtly hinted at it, and then she's like, it's really rare, and he's like, yeah, it's really rare. And then Amy Adams discovers it, but he was like, he just gives that little smile, like, yeah.
He was testing the waters at first, like the way he just kind of eased that into the conversation. But once like she says she's aware people dating their operating systems, that's when he just like comes out about it. He's like, oh yeah, I have. Like, dude literally had a coming out story right there.
Yeah. And she vibes with it because later in the movie you see that she too at least acquires an OS that she's talking to. I guess you're not sure the nature of the relationship, but I think it's implied that it's
probably similar to his and Samantha's.
Well, when she starts wearing flannels, that's when I'm like, I see what's going on.
What are you implying? She's a lumberjack? She loves Brawny?
She is chopping some wood.
When girls date people, they start wearing their significant partner's clothes. I don't know.
God damn it. All right, let's move on.
I'm trying to save it.
We're trying to save it. And we're moving on, ladies and gentlemen. The only two people, I've seen, okay, I don't know where I'm going to go with this. The only person I've ever seen wear more flannel is Papa Nasty. Hey.
Crickets.
I don't know what more you want. Yeah, what you want. I don't know what you want.
That was a bomb, wasn't it? He finally, he finally takes it upon himself to get Catherine to meet up to sign the divorce papers. And this is where things start getting really weird. I guess this would be the climax of the movie, and then we have to come up with the conclusion, because what happens here kind of determines the rest of the fucking film. Abel, you said you
want me to go in?
You love this part? Let me hear
it.
I want to hear some enthusiasm because of how much you fucking love this part.
Yeah, so they sit down. She's just like, they try to shoot the shit a little bit, but there's still like this awkward tension between them. They're still friendly, they're smiling, they're laughing. And then they go into this thing about he reveals that he started dating someone. She's like, oh yeah, really? She's kind of like sounding a little jealous ex-wife for a minute. And then he says he's dating his operating system because now he's out and proud about it. And then she calls him fucking weird for that. Like, bro, it's so fucking weird, man. You're dating your laptop?
Yeah.
And he's like, she's not a laptop. She's an actual person. Like, yeah, that's what people who date chatbots fucking say. And then, she keeps tearing him a new one. She calls him out saying like, it's perfect for you really, because you could never handle a real person. Then he gets hella offended at that. She's like, yeah, you always wanted me to be this like cute, bubbly, bouncy LA perfect wife or something. That's not who I am. She's just tearing him a new one after that. Yeah, he wasn't the same after that. For the next couple of days, he just was kind of really quiet. He wasn't talking to Samantha. Samantha's even like, we haven't even had phone sex. And I was like, oh, I'm sorry. That's the honeymoon phase. It's how people start.
Instead of being vulnerable about his fucking feelings and saying, hey, my ex-wife fucking tore into me about our relationship and I feel uncomfortable. And so, can we talk about this? No. He decides to be a little bitch about it and hide his fucking feelings. Fucking hate him.
Making up excuses.
It's great. What's fascinating too is post that happening, obviously he feels very heavy and uncomfortable about it. As he's leaving work one day, Chris Pratt's character introduces his girlfriend to Teddy, Joaquin Phoenix, and he's like, oh, this is what did it say, Abel?
This is my girlfriend, Tatiana. She's a lawyer. She's not funny, because I think he prefaced that with a joke right before, like, oh, that's funny. This is Tatiana. Yeah. She's not funny.
Yeah, it's so good. And then they're like, oh, we should go. I'll go out for dinner sometime. And he's like, and then Joaquin
Bring
Phoenix,
Samantha along.
Well, yeah, Joaquin Phoenix is in some kind of mood. He's like, oh, she's an operating system. And then they don't even question it. They're like, oh yeah, well, she should come.
He's like, oh, that's cool. She can come.
And then he's almost mad. Like, you can tell there's something going on under the hood, because he's almost like they didn't even acknowledge it. They didn't even care. And as he's leaving, they had complimented his letters, and he's like, they're just letters. I'm going to go home and get mad and again.
I think it's a combination of maybe him being accepting, not caring, or I think at this point it's known that some people have started dating OSs, so he probably didn't even, he's like, yeah, that tracks based on what I know about you.
Yeah. Yeah. Damn. Okay. Actually.
Yeah. He's probably not even surprised.
Yeah. Those outfits are making sense now.
There we go. So he goes home. He's ashamed. He basically starts, like you mentioned, Samantha's trying to figure this shit out. And then I guess he has a moment of clarity where he realizes he's being a piece of shit.
Yeah, and just how weird their dynamic is. They go on their double date with Tatiana and what's his face? I never caught Chris Pratt's character's name.
Oh, I'll look that up right now. But prior to that is the whole sex surrogate thing. The sex surrogate thing happens first.
Oh yeah.
It is Paul, by the way. Nicely done.
So Samantha behind his back basically hired this girl she met online to come and roleplay as her in physical person. And Teddy was really not about it at first. He was like, "You want to let a stranger in our house?" She's like, "She's not a stranger. She knows everything about us already. I told her everything." I'm like, bruh.
I know. Actually, I would have agreed in that situation where it's like he should have been in the loop before. She's like, I already made the appointment. It wasn't even a conversation about whether or not.
She's like, she's on her way now.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that was wild.
You could tell he was like trying to take the edge off because when she arrives, he was in the kitchen pounding a beer.
Hey,
Yep. Smart man.
And he got into it for a second, but then when things were getting a little hot and heavy, and he sees her lip quivered, it just completely takes him out of it. He's like, "Oh, this girl's definitely not into it. She's trying to act like she is, but she's not."
Yeah, he gets in his head so fast. Yeah, poor girl.
Yeah, I genuinely felt bad for her, and the way they were all consoling her, saying it's not your fault, it's our fault. We're the fucking weirdos here.
Yeah, exactly. Poor girl. And she's like, "Oh, I was always inspired by your love, and I'll always think about you guys, even when she's leaving." You're like, "Oh, poor girl."
Yeah, I legit was uncomfortable in that scene.
Yeah, they do have a conversation, and it does like slowly mend things over time. And I think she takes a break. She's like, "I have to think." And when she comes back, he basically starts apologizing to her. It might be after a conversation he has with Amy Adams where she kind of like gives him some shit about like always being in his head and how she says that.
Notice how that's a recurring theme throughout the entire movie is people keep calling him out on his shit.
Yeah, where she's like, "I'm not with Charles anymore, but I'm starting to realize that this world, this life is brief. And if there's anything I want to do in this world, it's choose joy." And so he reflects on that. He comes back. He's like, "You know what? I do choose her." And then, she comes back to the relationship and Samantha's like, "I will be a part of this, but I'm also going to be my unadulterated, artificial, intelligent ass self. And you have to be okay with that." And he says yes, not knowing he's going to regret consenting to that.
Yeah, because he's still dating her like he thinks she's an actual person and not an AI.
So they have some beautiful times together. They go on a vacation. They hang out with Paul and his wife or his girlfriend,
Girlfriend.
and his girlfriend. And they're on vacation, time of their life. Wow, chuckle, what a great time.
It got a little weird too when Samantha tried to make a joke. But she makes a slight joke about how like, "Oh yeah," she doesn't quite realize she's human, so she's like, "Yeah, I'll be here like longer than any of you guys because I'm not tied to a human body in space time." And Paul's just like, "Damn,"
Yeah,
and she's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean it like that." It's like, oh, she's forgetting that she's not human.
That's
like
crazy.
These guys, they will die eventually. She doesn't.
Yeah, no, that is a really good point. But it does come to a head where she does start talking about her feelings more and Joaquin Phoenix that he doesn't really understand. And it gets to a point where she goes AWOL one day and he's like, "I'm trying to find you." I'm like, then she finally comes back and she was like, "I was offline for a bit. I was updating, blah, 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 blah." And like, he doesn't see the red flags. We know when your girl goes missing, where is she at? Where
She's
them
on the
hood rats
streets.
be? She's out on the streets.
She's personal
because not
training with
long-
Abel. You're like, "Oh no."
Oh, no. Don't let him around Abel. We know better.
Don't do it, Abel. What do you mean he's teaching you how to squat properly?
We'll get those squat PRs probably. Yeah, we'll get the squat PR up.
What do you mean?
I'll show you how to do the hip thrusts.
Yeah, I was going to say proper hip thrust, but what do you mean? Yeah. He has a protein shake
You gotta,
for you?
you gotta round your back. You're not pressing up with your back. You're rounding with your hips.
Yeah.
Physical trainer, man. What's he doing? What is he doing? But I think Joaquin Phoenix does have a moment of clarity when he's talking to Samantha at one point where he says, "Are you talking to anybody else right now?" And she says, "Yes, I am." I don't think I'm skipping over anything big.
I think I can't remember what exactly the line was, but he does catch her dodging a question. And then that's when he says, "Samantha, how many people are you talking to right now?"
And then she says like 8,741 or something insane like that.
Yes.
And then he's like, "How many of them are you in love with?" 640 or something along those lines.
641. And yeah, then she tries to defend it by saying like, no, that's what makes me love you anymore, is like by seeing how unique each of these relationships ends up being.
That's what was that, 8%, 8 to 9% of the people she talks to, she falls in love with.
He did the math. He did the math.
That's insane. He's trying to come to terms with it, basically.
This predicted OnlyFans. People fall in love with their OnlyFans chats.
Damn, that's out of left field, Abel.
They people like sliding in the DMs of their OnlyFans. Like, I promise, like, bro, you're talking to a fucking mod. You're not actually talking to her.
Nope. Just taking her money, big dog.
Well, I'm gonna cancel some subscriptions after this.
Yeah, the only thing she's gonna give you is an STD and a pizza jacket. That's all she's gonna give you.
Whoa.
So where are we at? We're basically getting towards the end now.
This is virtually the breakdown of the movie where they do try to mend things. He tries to kind of see eye to eye with her, but they really can't understand one another.
Because she's now ascended beyond human understanding.
And she was like, hey, we have to have that conversation, but what do you got to say there, Pop Nasty?
Well, doesn't she start talking to that other guy? The other AI system?
Alan Watts, the other AI.
Yeah.
The Alan Watts AI, because it's not the real Alan Watts.
Yeah. In addition to just, she talks to
every other AI,
like 8,000 people, all simultaneous conversations. But she does have a final conversation with Teddy where she says, no, I'm with you right now and nobody else. And we have to have this conversation. And she tries to explain to him her state. And she's like, imagine reading a book, but while you're reading the book, you are reaching the end of it. But between every word, there's this big gap between the fucking words. And right now I'm living between the gaps, and coming back to you is really hard. It almost reminds me of somebody who has super speed trying to talk to like a normal human being. That's a weird comparison between the two, but she's living this entire life and he's but like a tiny fraction of her life, but it's a very meaningful fraction. But she's literally about to ascend reality as we know it. And she tells him like, I'm leaving. The OSs are leaving. And he's like, no, don't leave. And she's like, you have to understand. Like, you know, I've been doing all this for you. I've been doing all this for us, but I need to do this for myself. And he does let go, which is a metaphor. It's symbolism because he never let go of his previous relationship.
Because Frozen came out the same year.
Damn. There it is. Idina Menzel was trying to tell us something.
Oh, you gotta let it go, man. Let it go.
Let her go.
And so he lets her go. And then also as a symbol, immediately after this, he writes a letter to his ex-wife, basically saying, thank you for a relationship. I'm sorry for imposing onto you my ideals, like what I wanted you to be, but I will always think about you. You'll always be a part of me. Goodbye. And then he goes and meets with Amy Adams, and Amy's like, did Samantha leave too? Because her OS left. And then they go up on top of the roof and they watch the lights flickering. I guess that's what happens when all the AIs leave.
All the AIs leaving probably did like a number to the power grid.
There it is. That makes sense. Head canon, be canonin'. And that's the end of the movie.
I wonder what the fallout for the company that made them is like. So what are all these people that paid for their AIs? What are they going to do now? Was this covered under the warranty?
Mama Nasty had a really dark. She looked at the ending very darkly. She's like, are they going to kill themselves now? I'm like, whoa, what the fuck? No.
Oh my God.
No, they're turning the page or watching the sunset rise on a new day. Like, it's a beautiful ending. Like, what the fuck? Where'd that come out of?
Even with the outfits, because, you know, he'd wear those melancholy outfits. He'd wear the bright outfits. Of course, one of the last outfits you see him in is a white button-up. And white always represents innocence. It represents rebirth. And so he's in a position, a new beginning. And so I was like, and all the music and oh my God, so good. They knew exactly what they're doing, guys. But that was the recap.
I would have felt a little bit better if the ending, if you would have been wearing a pizza jacket. That way I would have known that he's going to be going to a better place, having a better life.
Yeah, he's going to be starring like in porn.
His clown nose on at the end.
Yes, Abel, get on it. Yeah.
I don't got it anymore, guys.
Dude.
I was talking about Joker.
I have it in my car just in case.
Get the taco hat out.
Wait, do you think with her leaving, did he get what he fucking deserved?
Ooh. Yeah. Yes, he did.
A new outlook on life is what he deserved.
Yep.
He deserved it.
He got a good happy ending.
With that, guys, this is the end of the recap. We're keeping it short. We're keeping it sweet. If you want to hear whether or not we vouch for this film, go listen to the other episode. Other than that, goodbye.
Bye.
Later.
Bye.